Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to be doing last of our second Lord series, as in second Lord in the 12th house. And what happens when in your birth horoscope, the planet that controls your second house is sitting in the 12th house in your horoscope? You know, what is it? What are the dynamics of these alignments? Well, first of all, what is the second house? Second house represents your family. Second house represents your wealth, your hoarded wealth, your family assets. It's what you save. And mainly philosophically and spiritually, it's what you value. Whatever you value is seen from the second house. And second house is a house of your speech because it's a house that controls your throat. It's a house that controls your face. So anything related to face and throat is seen from the second house. Second house represents food intake, drink intake, because again, it controls the throat. Whatever goes into the mouth is seen from the second house. Second house shows family lineage, culture, your artistic progression in life really comes from the second house, because through family, you either become creative or you just completely become dull. So everything is seen from the second house, mainly, wealth and assets. So what happened when that goes into the 12th house? Well, what is the 12th house? Well, in classical text, 12th house is known as a house of losses, meaning that you're going to lose everything. But that's not the case nowadays, because 12th house is now mainly the house of foreign lands. It's a house of spirituality, living in isolation, living in places like monasteries or foreign lands, distant places away from your home and family. See, this is what it is. Second house is family, 12th house is isolation and foreign land. So it shows that your second house things are now related to foreign lands and foreign things. 12th house represents asylums, hospitals, and jails. 12th house represents the other dimension. 12th house represents your imagination, like your daydreaming or your dream world that you're in all the time, constantly. When people daydream a lot all day, most likely their moon is in the 12th house or their Mercury is in the 12th house. Okay, so what happens when this goes into the 12th house? Well, what this shows, first of all, is that what you value is privacy, what you value is spiritual bliss, and what you value is something that is regarding foreign things and foreign lands. You love traveling into foreign places and foreign lands. You love visiting monasteries. You love visiting spiritual places. And that's what you value. That's where your true value comes in when you're in these places. This also shows that your family would have moved into foreign lands to make their assets, to make their profit. Or you yourself built your assets and profits in foreign lands. Your savings were attained through things related to foreign lands. So whether it's you working abroad, whether it's you actually doing business that's relating to people of the other land, like if I'm here, I am selling something in India, or like you in India are watching my videos here on YouTube, and so I am providing a service from US to Indian customers or Indian people through YouTube. That's the same thing. It's the same scenario. So your values, your whatever you value, whatever you hoard, whatever you save, comes through the things related to the 12th house. Now, those things will differ related to the planet. And also, you got to remember one thing from the house to house scenario, that the 12th house is 11th from the second house. It is 11 places away from the second house, meaning that in astrology, the 11th house, the main 11th house, is a house of gains, house of, getting tremendous gains in life. So for any house, 11th from itself becomes the gain of that house. So it's actually not a bad thing to have your second house lord here. It shows you will gain through foreign things, you will gain through foreign lands, you will gain through spirituality, perhaps becoming a teacher of spirituality, which we are going to discuss when I go through each planet sitting in the 12th house. So let's say Sun rules your second house, and Sun rules the sign of Leo. So if you have the sign of Leo in your second house, and Sun sits in the 12th house, what happens? Well, Sun is what? Sun represents your personality. Sun represents your soul. Sun represents your father and government or fatherly figures. It's a significator of your career. It's a significator of your self-esteem and confidence. So what happens when this planet goes into the 12th house? Well, The thing that you also got to understand in astrology is that there are certain houses where a planet goes to die. And it's just a philosophical term. The planet goes to die. Okay. So for Sun's death occurs in the 12th house. Why? Because the ego, the king, is now forced to live in the asylum. The king, yourself, your soul, is now confined by this isolation. You can no longer rule anybody in the world. You can no longer do anything in your life. You are confined in this thing. But those are philosophical things, okay? They really mean something else. Like Rahu, the north node of the moon, goes into the 9th house to die, because 9th house is religion, spirituality, and following the law. Rahu goes against that, so he dies there. Moon in the 8th house dies because 8th house is a house of death, graveyard, dark places. The mind is filled with darkness. Okay, so that's what's happening. But in this case, what happens is that the person's personality and their self-esteem really develops when they go to foreign lands. And what is seen from Sun is that Sun is your father. And since Sun goes into the foreign lands and into the 12th house, it shows that due to either you ruining your father's reputation or father ruining your reputation, you went to foreign lands. And this shows that a person or a personality that is very secretive, that is going to go into the foreign lands to make money, that is whose self-esteem will rise in foreign lands. Because people can have low confidence, low self-esteem because of the fact their sun is in foreign lands, their soul is in foreign lands, their physical body is still with their family, their physical body probably still in their homeland. And so they feel lost. These people feel lost as their personality. They do not know who they are, what should they do. But Sun is in the sign of Gemini in the 12th house. So it shows that one's ability to communicate, one's personality that will be able to communicate with people will happen in foreign lands. This also is a good place for spiritual and spiritual, mainly spiritual, but you can also do religious deeds, but mainly for spiritual progress. This is a great sun to go into foreign lands. That's where your spiritual progress will begin. That's where you'll really find your soul. You'll find your personality. You'll know, okay, this is who I am. My God, I finally found myself. That can probably happen if you went to a monastery, lived with monks, and you started to gain knowledge about who you are. So that's what it shows. And it shows that your father also, made his wealth through foreign lands. Maybe he had a business in foreign lands. He traveled into foreign lands a lot. So that's a scene. Moon goes into the 12th house. When Moon goes into the 12th house as a second house ruler, first of all, if Moon is in the first 5 degrees, it's exalted. Because Moon is really exalted at the third degree, but up to 5-6 degrees is really exalted. So what this shows, Moon is your mother. Moon is your peace of mind. Moon is the way you think, your emotions. Okay? So what this shows that your mother was a very spiritual influence on you. Your mother provided you with all the guidance that you needed to enhance your imagination. Your daydreaming world, your creativity came through the mother, and Moon is so strong here that you have a really solid, grounded imagination. You may not have too many ideas, unless it was in the sign of Gemini or like Aquarius, but what this shows that this person, when they think about something, they will think it through, and they will be able to bring it into the world. So, and Moon is a sattvic planet like Sun, so it represents spirituality. When it's exalted, it shows a spiritual mind, a person's ability to link to the other dimension and bring forth the knowledge for the other aspects of their life. And so, and Moon in the 12th house is a blessings of a divine mother. Any benefic planet in the 12th house really known as something benefic, and Moon is a strong indicator of somebody who will go to a higher loka in after this life. So a lot of positive things are happening with this. Okay, let's say Mercury rules your second house. Mercury goes into the 12th house. Well, Mercury is what? Mercury is education, your communication, your speech, your business skills. Mercury is a businessman, a communicator, a salesman. He is your analytical and logical thinking. When Mercury goes into the 12th house, shows that your business will occur with people of foreign lands, with things related to foreign lands. Your speech and your ability to logically think things, okay, may not be there. You are more of an imaginative, logical thinker. Your analytical and logical intelligence and your nervous system development happens when you're left alone and you are in your own world. Kind of like, in a way, Einstein was, because Einstein's Mercury was in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is the original controller of the 12th house. So his progress in scientific thinking came through imagination, being in his own world, not being bothered by other people. Same thing with this Mercury. Okay, but depending upon what sign Mercury is in, he will do different kind of things. But mainly here it shows that your logical thinking will be happening through more imagination, and you will go to foreign lands working as an accountant, working as a business consultant. You may become a teacher in foreign lands, so you, and like, especially like an engineer in foreign lands, because if Mercury rules the Gemini sign, goes into the 12th house of Aries, it shows an engineer in foreign lands. Now, I also forgot to mention, Sun represents the government. Okay, so if Sun or Moon, both, Moon represents the local government, Sun represents the federal government, both of whom they go into the 12th house, shows that somebody who might be a foreign diplomat, who might be working for the government of their own country, but will be in the foreign land as a diplomat, or somebody working in foreign policies as well in the government. But let's say if Mars goes into the 12th house, what happens if Mars goes into the 12th house? Well, Mars is what? Mars is your energy. Mars is a soldier. Mars is your fighting skills, your willpower. Mars is the engineer. Mars is the weapon maker. Okay, so and Mars is just that competitive spirit that you have in you. When Mars goes into the 12th house, you got to understand Mars is a natural malefic. Okay, his job is to bring power struggle. What this shows, there's a lot of chaos and power struggle in your spiritual realm. Your mind is not stable. It is always contradicting one thought to the other, and you cannot come to the grasp of just one spiritual path. However, this shows that in foreign lands, you can make tremendous amount of gains as a scientist or a doctor, or you can make gains as an engineer, or in management. Hotel management in foreign lands can be seen with Mars in the 12th house. However, since it's a natural malefic, what you got to be careful of is seeing that if Mars is receiving any other malefic aspects in this horoscope by like Rahu, Ketu, or Saturn, because what this does, then Mars can become so criminal that it can land Mars in jail, meaning that it can land a person in jail, or due to your family, you landed in jail. Your brother, Mars represents your brother to your male friends. It can show your brother might have gone to foreign lands, settled there, made a lot of money, and helped you through it, and helped you gain money. Or if your Mars is in weak position, it can show that your brother is in jail and caused you to lose your assets because of that. Okay, and it can show somebody who's a fighter, or somebody who's into sports like yoga and martial arts, and goes to foreign lands to compete, especially if Mercury is with him. That's a great combination for martial artist. Then let's say if Venus rules your second house, Venus goes into the 12th house. Well, Venus, it represents what? Venus is your relationships. Venus is your sensual pleasures, your spouse. It represents a wife in a man's chart. It represents like girlfriends, or interaction with females. And again, like I said, benefic planets in the 12th house do very well. But depending upon what sign Venus is in, obviously differentiate that. But this shows that your sense of what you value, as your hoarded wealth, or whatever your values are, comes through seeking sensual pleasures in foreign lands. You love traveling to foreign lands. You love interacting with females in foreign lands. Your spouse will be from foreign lands, because second house is also the family, and family is also marriage. And significator, when Venus rules that, goes to the foreign lands, shows that you will meet your wife in foreign lands, or you will meet your wife in spiritual sanctuaries, and you will value your wife's spiritual knowledge, because again, it's about value. And since Venus is also a significator of currencies and finance and money as well, it shows that your earnings will come through, mainly, strictly your earnings will come through foreign lands. Your main earnings, your big, huge earnings that you look for will come through doing through business of foreign lands. You can be a great artist, you can be a great singer, a great dancer. Why a great dancer? Because Venus is creativity. Venus is artistic skills. 12th house represents your feet, meaning dance. So you can be a ballet dancer, you can be a professional dancer, whatever, but it's that creative realm that you seek pleasures through and that you value. Jupiter. Jupiter rules your second house, goes into the 12th house again. Jupiter is what? Jupiter is your knowledge, your divine knowledge, your spiritual knowledge, your religious knowledge. Jupiter is your teachers. Jupiter is classical art and music. It is a very first significator of classical art and music. So it strongly suggests that somebody who loves classical art and music, somebody who's very spiritual and loves being in spiritual places. People find their true gurus in foreign lands who have this placement. They value the beauty of spirituality and monasteries and places with natural environment, because Jupiter is also biology. Jupiter is your surroundings like mountains and grass. These guys love being in isolated places that are filled with all these things. And Jupiter is obviously your divine divine knowledge. So your value comes more with knowledge than even money. But since Jupiter is a significator of the second house also, because it's a significator of second, fifth, ninth, and 11th house, which all represents finance and speculative business, it shows as somebody who can be a financial analyst in foreign lands. Somebody who can be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, because 12th house is, again, it's a house of confinement, working in hospitals, working in jails, working in asylums. So if some astrologer tells you you're going to go to jail with Jupiter being in there, most likely it means you're going to go be a counselor to somebody in jail. You can go and maybe teach something to people in asylum, hospital, and jails. All right. Saturn rules your second house and goes into the 12th house. Well, what is Saturn? Saturn, first of all, is a natural malefic planet. Saturn is the layer of things. Saturn is your karmic backlog. Saturn represents discipline, organization, structure, law, and order in your life and everybody else's life. When this goes into the 12th house, this shows that first your spiritual progress and the things that you want to value are stuck for a while. You want to go into spiritual places, Saturn won't let you, or will give you bad experiences with that. You want to go to foreign lands. You want to go and do something and be in foreign lands. Saturn's going to give you frustrations through that. But Saturn's going to give you later on, when after the age of 35 or 32, it gives you discipline when it comes to spiritual progress. It will take you to foreign lands for a long, long time, because Saturn is a slow-moving planet. So whenever he does something for you, he'll do it for a long time. If he's going to block you from going to foreign lands, he's going to block you for a long time. If he's going to take you to foreign lands, he's going to take you for a long duration. And Saturn also represents construction, redundant work. So you can be a real estate builder in foreign lands. You may work as a janitor or a trash picker in foreign lands. You can work as a just a low wage construction worker or a low wage just street worker in foreign lands, depending upon how the Saturn's condition is. Or Saturn can land you in jail, because Saturn is a natural malefic planet who wants to teach you lessons, so it will confine you. Okay, your savings, your value will be confined with Saturn and will be stuck. Saturn doesn't deny it, remember that. Saturn never denies anything. He just slows it down. So Saturn shows that you might be in foreign lands doing implementing law and order, meaning that you can be an attorney in foreign lands. Same thing with Mars. Mars and Saturn in the 12th house. I have seen like many attorneys who from India, from Europe, who come to United States, went to law school and became an attorney in foreign lands. So it shows those kind of like government related career in foreign lands. Okay, but things come with delay and things come with patience with Saturn being in the 12th house. But again, it comes, and when he gives a lot. All right. So guys, this was my analysis of second lord in the 12th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your second lord is placed and if it's in the 12th house, for that, check out the links below and check out my books, Astrology, Conjunctions, and Aspects of the Speed of Light. And when you get these books, I will send you a link to look at your own chart. Just make sure you follow the directions below. And also September 7th, remember, my report, my full astrological report is coming, along with cartography, which shows you the best places to live and do certain things in this world. All right, see you later. Bye bye.